This is Phillies Postgame Live presented by Cure Auto Insurance along with Ben Davis. I'm Michael Barkamp. 3-2 Phillies lose to Washington. They've lost 3 straight, but what's more, they've lost 3 straight, Benny, for the 5th time this season. That's not good. Also, what's more, Benny, 3 runs total in their last 3 games. Mets are winning 3-2, so that's not good. They could be 4 games up the Phils, and they're now 69-52 on the season, on pace for 92 wins. Take it any way you want, but both sides of the ball, if you will, offense and defense, had issues tonight.
Yeah, well, I don't know about the pitching so much. I thought Luzardo was okay. Ran into a buzzsaw there in that 7th inning, but he still only gave up 3 earned runs, and it's considered a quality start. 3 earned runs in 6 innings of work. Kirkering came in and almost was able to bail him out there, but this is more of an offensive thing for me, Michael. And to see the ball club in the fashion in which they attacked in Texas, it was fundamental. It was using the whole field. It was a wonderful 2-strike approach down there in the Lone Star State. And then it seems like they went up to Cincinnati and they just kind of forgot everything they did. But that approach that I saw in Texas, that's going to win a lot of ball games. And it seems like they just got away from that in the Queen City. And you know, it's something that they have to get back to if they want to be competitive. But right now, this offense is just way too inconsistent.
Take a look at the offense, or lack thereof, for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Base hits on the evening, a double by Stott and a double by Schwarber, and just 2 runs on the board. But we saw 3 infield singles by Trea Turner. But it's just a grind right now that they got to somehow fix. I just think right now they're putting a little bit too much pressure on the starting rotation, because I think these guys are saying, if I know I'm only going to be allotted 1 or 2 runs, I have to be perfect. And I think that's when pitchers start to squeeze the baseball a little bit, try and be too fine, and that's when they start making the mistakes. And that can wear on you. And I think it's starting to do that a little bit on the starting rotation.
That's a great point. Want to pick up more on that in a few moments. But is it me, as we take a look at the inside the box score numbers, is it me, or can you set up this Phillies lineup with a good dose of fastballs and a slider, and then see you later?
Well, that's been the MO. We saw it with the Mets last year. They really figured out how to pitch this Phillies ball club, and then they continued and carried that over in the playoffs last year. But I think that's what a lot of these guys are doing: 4-seamers at the top of the zone and back foot breaking balls. And right now, the Phillies are having a tough time with that. And I get it. I know that this is big league pitching. These guys are really good, but at some point, this is a lineup that was built for slug. And just to score those 4 runs over the last 3 games, it has to come to a stop, because this is a ball club, again, just 2 extra base hits tonight, and we're not seeing that slug right now. So I'm saying that you can't put it all on Kirkering coming in there. That's a tough situation, Michael. You got bases loaded, nobody out. There's literally no place to put him. He gets that first out, and he was a smidgen away from getting that ground ball. Hit a little bit more Trea Turner. That's an inning-ending double play. They get out of it unscathed, but that is a tough situation. Luzardo, I thought he threw the ball great. The changeup was great. The sweeper was phenomenal. 41% sweepers tonight, and why not use it? It was electric. But the problem is the walks. Both those walks come around the score.
Yeah, and I'll give you that about Luzardo's performance. I'm just looking for guys to stand up and be counted when you're counting on them. And Luzardo, with the walk, the double, and the walk, and then he's gone. Okay, now it's Kirkering's problem. I get that, and he tries to do the best he can. The runs score, but I thought, you know, you got to avoid that fate. 2 walks and a double? Come on. How about 1 walk and a double?
You also have to score more than 2 runs.
Yeah.
You got to score more than 2 runs. I'm not putting this on Luzardo. I will disagree with you, and I love you to death, Michael David. You know that, but I will disagree with you on this one. I'm putting this on the offense and not Luzardo and Kirkering.
You're wrong. Like, you played the game. Okay, fine.
In my opinion, I don't know if that ever started out as a strike, and it just continued to run in underneath the hands of Turner, and he swung.
Yeah, what my concern is, assuming they're going to make the playoffs, if not win the division, and right now they're 4.5 up on the Mets. The Mets are winning right now. We'll see what happens. But assuming that they make the playoffs, that this fate befalls them again, as it did to the Mets, as it did to Arizona, as it did in the World Series. Do we have any confidence that they're going to be okay?
Well, they got to catch lightning in a bottle offensively. And this is, in my opinion, I know there were some pitching mishaps over the years. We know what happened with Craig Kimbrell out in Arizona back in 23. I thought that was their best time to get back back to the World Series. But 22, they got no hit in the World Series game. So this is a lineup that it can be really good, but we just haven't seen that recently. We haven't seen it since the All-Star break. Just too many ups and downs. But I know I keep harping on that series they had down in Texas where they swept the Rangers. But that was a clinic. That was a hitting clinic, and the approach with 2 strikes was awesome. But I just like to see them go back and watch those at bats, which I'm sure they're probably doing. But go back, and you don't always have to watch film when you're hitting poorly. Watch the at bats when you hit well. And why did I do this well? Why was I seeing the ball so well? Why was I able to lay off that and go through it, run back through it, and say, okay, this is what I need to get back to.
All right, take a look at the Eye on the Mound presented by PGW. Energy for all of us. It's Jesús Luzardo, who, as Ben said, by and large, had a solid night and a quality start. Not the reason they lost the game. At the same time, situationally, you want him to prevent the bases being loaded on his watch. And you take a look at some of the pitches he made there, and especially, Ben, the 2 walks. Just kill them, and they end up coming around to score.
I don't care if it's little league or the big leagues. You walk guys, they will come around to bite you in the you-know-what. So this is a guy that has the stuff. It just seemed like he was starting to overthrow just a smidgen. He still had the velo, the velocity. It was coming out of his hand hot. It just seemed like he started to overthrow, started to miss some pitches up. And that's a telltale sign for me that you're missing up because you're overthrowing a little bit.
Yeah, and that's the only reason I put any of this on him, is because at some point, even if you're gripping the ball tight because they failed to get runs for you, you got to come through in a situation where you start with a clean inning and the base is empty. But that's just me. Rob Thomson, post-game in Washington.
Luzardo looked pretty good. 6 innings, there was some power there. I mean, what did you see in the 7th? Just a little loss of command?
Just the leadoff walk, and then I had Kirkering ready for House. In hindsight, we should have him ready for Adams. But Kirk still had his stuff, and he handled Adams pretty easily up to that point. And then once he faces Adams, and you give him a left-hander, and then you got to go to Kirk. So it was a rough inning at this point.
What were you kind of seeing from the offense with runners in scoring position?
Just probably trying to do a little bit too much. We got to get back to using the entire field, doing little things. Big things will happen. It's not like they're not working at it. I mean, you can hear the balls down there. Right? There's a bunch of hitters in the cages right now, so we just got to fight through it.
What do you see from, not to single anyone out, what do you see from Nick just this last little bit?
Yeah, he's just been off balance a little bit, and not letting the ball travel. And usually when he's scuffling, that's usually what he's doing. We all know he's a streaky guy, and he'll get it back. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, and as you continue to evaluate this outfield, what did you see from the outfield mix tonight?
Well, Kepler swung the bat good. Marsh hit the ball hard. Those guys are doing all right. Bader, good pinch hit today. He'll play tomorrow against the lefty. So, they're doing their thing.
What have you noticed from the team's at-bats these past 3 games?
Well, first of all, we've faced, especially in Cincinnati, we faced pretty good pitching. That kid today pitched pretty good too, but I think guys are just trying to do a little bit too much right now, and that's usually what the problem is when you're not scoring runs is guys are thinking, well, they put it on their shoulders and try to do too much, and then your swing gets big, or you get out front, you roll over, swing and miss. We just got to get back to keeping it simple, using the field, line drives.
And how'd you like Tre's play today?
Trey?
Trey.
Well, 3 infield hits. That was pretty good. So, he's been playing well, especially defensively.
What went into the bunt with Sosa on the 3-1 count?
Just the fact I want to try and tie it up because I felt like we had more bullpen than they did and win it in extra innings.
It's elite. Yeah. And also, speaking of his speed, the ball that Schwarber hit in the gap off the fence, he came around. We saw Paul Buchheit, the Phillies head trainer, go over to Trey in the dugout, and we're thinking, oh no, it better not be a hammy. But he went out there. He was smiling the next inning. Maybe he was just a little dehydrated, but it's nice to see that it's nothing serious.
Yeah, we're going to look at that a little later on, but maybe Trea Turner will tell us about that right now. Here he is in the clubhouse.
Happy with the energy tonight, given what you guys have been through the last 24 hours, and seeing like you had chances to score some runs.
For sure. To be in the game was a good thing today. just based on last night and the adversity that we had to deal with. But I wish we could have pulled it out. But like you said, the effort was there, which was nice, and could easily kind of quit and lay down. Zeus pitched really well for the start, and then bullpen was good too. Just we couldn't get enough offense.
What were you seeing from the offense with runners in scoring position?
Yeah, I thought they got some funky guys and matched up pretty well. So bullpens turned over a lot, and we haven't seen Lord that much. So we'll be familiar with those guys and lock it in. But I think they just made some good pitches. They got some good stuff and some funky arm angles, and just got out of it really. But that's the difference in the game. If we can get some hits in those situations, then maybe we'll pull away.
Hey, night like tonight, after a night like last night, as a guy who's at the top of the lineup's got a lot of speed, do you kind of see it as sort of a, kind of a responsibility to do what you did tonight and maybe kind of get some things started with your legs?
I mean, I would have loved to hit some doubles and jog and hit some homers and stuff, but sometimes it doesn't always go that way. And I didn't really think about that. I just try to play the game, the way I do, and it wasn't fun. It was an ugly night, but it ended up working out a little bit. Get on base for Kyle in that double. It was scoring the go-ahead run at the time. So you never know how you're going to get on. You just got to hustle and work and compete. And tonight was one of those nights.
Yeah, he sure is. Here's the standings right now in the National League East. Up to the minute, the Phillies, Mets have lost. The Phillies are 5 games up on the Mets still. 69 and 52 are the Phils. The Mets at 64 and 57. That's the saving grace in these last 3 losses for the Phillies, is that the Mets absolutely stink right now. They have lost 13 of 15. They have 2 wins since July 27th, and they were winning. They keep blowing games too. 3-2 up in the 8th, and they end up losing it tonight.
That's the thing with the Mets right now. They're getting out to some leads, and not just 1 or 2, some bigger leads. And this bullpen right now for the Mets is imploding. I mean, big time right now. And you'd like to see the Phillies keep that lead or get a bigger lead in the NL East, because I still think it's going to go down to the last week, Michael, with regards to the Mets and the Phillies. But you take advantage of it. But this Mets bullpen, it's in free fall right now. And they were so good early on in the season. The rotation was locked down. Their bullpen, they even went out and got a few more pieces at the trade deadline, did the Mets. It's just not working out for them in the back end.
Phillies play the Mets 2 more times, once at the end of August and then once in September. And it might go down to the wire the way it's been with these teams. Here's Jesús Luzardo in the clubhouse on his start tonight.
How do you feel about the way you threw the ball in there? How you're able to get deep against those guys?
I thought I threw the ball well. I felt really good, going into the 7th, and just frustrated the way it ended. Obviously, walking 2 guys that it's inexcusable, but the hit happens. But the walks are kind of what rubs me the wrong way about the outing. But besides that, I think the first 6 were great, and we got through. Good lineup. Just kind of mixed and matched, kept them off balance. So
Obviously, it was a long night for you guys. Did that change how you approached the start at all?
No. I think everyone had a long night, and it was just kind of rough on everyone, but we just showed up to the field and took care of business, so it was kind of just business as usual. Very sweeper heavy, again, against these guys. I think that was the case early in the year, too. Just kind of how important was that pitch for you, just to kind of get through the first 6 and set yourself up for the 7th? Yeah, just being able to land, I think it's been big all year. Just being able to throw it for strike, throw it for a chase, throw it in big counts, leverage counts, maybe 3-2, 2-2 counts that, most guys are maybe looking for a fastball time. So it's been a good weapon for me, and, I think we went through a rough stretch where I didn't have a good feel for it, and now lately it's been really good, a good weapon for me again.